Hey, family. Welcome back. All right, now, how's everybody doing out there in channel land? Yeah, YouTube is the land of channels, right? But I'm doing a little bit of wordplay. Tonight's video is about channeling. So we're just gonna read a couple of verses from the mother, the Lady Christ, Miriam. And I really would like to call her Mother Miriam, because what this Holy Megillah is telling us is that Miriam was Yahshua's baby mama, okay? And I might just have to call her that so that when I'm talking about her, nobody gets it confused and everybody understands that that statue of the Black Madonna is of Yahshua's baby's mama. Yeah, I haven't done any research on it, but from what I'm gathering, Miriam, we call her the Lady Christ. And I did not know that that's what Madonna meant in Italian, that it means my lady. The Holy Megillah tells us that Miriam was Ethiopian, her parents were Ethiopian, and so that would be a picture of Miriam and their son, Zibiah. Something else to think about, right? But yeah, so we're going to get into some teachings from the Lady Christ about channeling and not to do it, because what we've been learning is about these parasites, these disembodied demonic spirits, and how they whisper and they get people to lower their vibration. Therefore, when your vibration gets lowered, they can enter into your aura. So there's some things you got to do to keep your shield of light nice and tight. Other than that, you might be having thoughts and ideas and whispers and suggestions from disembodied spirits. So the definition for channeling is the act or practice of serving as a medium through which a spirit guide purportedly communicates with living persons. This may be one of the last videos on this subject for now, the disembodied spirits. So I just wanted to say a few references for anyone who sees this video and not the other ones. You might want to watch the 3 videos before this. And you also might want to look at the Abraham and Sarah, the creation of our world. That's chapter 7 in the Nazarean book of Genesis, where it talks about Lucifer attacking this realm before the tree of life even was planted. He tried to prevent the tree of life from being planted. Megillah tells us that this is an ancient war, and it was going on before this world even came into existence. And so check that out, chapter 7 in the Nazarene book of Genesis. Okay, so now we're going to get into chapter 42, and the title of this chapter is The Lord and the Lady Instruct John's Remnant. And I love how it calls it John's Remnant, because they call them former Aaronites. I think they were like Sadducees, Pharisees, and stuff like that. And when they met John, they converted to the Nasarean religion, and they became vegetarian. They got baptized. They did all the steps so that they would be prepared to meet Yahshua and Miriam when they came for the story we have about the baptism of Yahshua. You might want to look that one up, because when Yahshua and Miriam got there to the baptism pool at Halaja Ford, they baptized John the Baptist first as a Christ Messiah. So that's an interesting and exciting story. And then Yahshua and Miriam started to teach. So this picks up right after the departure of Peter. And I just want to mention that this is not Peter Greenman. This is the other Peter, the one who did not walk on water, the one who was not a disciple, and the one who never accepted the Lady Christ or her teachings. So just so you know who they're talking about, this Peter was the one listening to whispers. Okay, so here we go. After the departure of Peter, Yahshua and Miriam spoke to the assembly at the encampment of John the Baptist for the rest of that day. After Miriam spoke, a disciple of John asked her, "Priestess, Peter claims that he channels Moses. He said that Moses condemns the Nazarene practice of permitting women in the priesthood. Peter also claims to channel messages from other biblical figures such as Isaiah and Elijah. In Bethany, I met another man who claims to channel Moses, and while in Jerusalem, I met yet another man who claims to channel Moses. The problem is this: each supposed Moses says things that are not compatible with the other two. All three of these channelers present Moses within the Aaronite context, but they all attributed very different words to him. Is channeling valid? And if so, why the discrepancies? Verse 11, Miriam replied, I do not condone channeling. For lo, just because the spirit is disembodied does not make him honest. Behold, many disembodied spirits pose as famous figures in order to advance their own opinions, and those opinions are often very faulty. But most channelers are not even channeling a spirit at all. Many are simply accessing a deeper level of their own mind, and that is why the information they channel typically matches their own personal beliefs. Some, perhaps most, are simply lying. This is not to say that there are no true channelers, but the Nazarene tradition forbids channeling because it is a dangerous and unreliable practice. Even if you are one of the true channelers, by practicing that dangerous and unreliable art, you are condoning the practice and are responsible for the mishaps of others who follow your example. Truly, I have seen many people seriously harmed by channeling, some being demonically possessed. Wherefore I say, be not a channeler, lest you lead others astray. Now we jumped over to chapter 82. It's a short little read about the angelic and demonic watchers. So we're at verse 39. Apollo asked Zabdiel, I have heard the term the watchers used in both a positive sense and a negative sense in regards to particular kinds of disembodied entities. Are these watchers angelic or demonic? Zabdiel replied, you have heard some watchers referred to in a positive way, some in a negative way, because in fact there are different kinds of apparently disembodied entities. I say apparently disembodied because though some are in fact disembodied, others have subtle bodies that humans cannot see. Both the good and the bad watchers are called watchers precisely because they spend long periods of time watching the lives of physically incarnated beings, such as humans. Two things determine whether they are considered good or bad entities. One, their motives, and two, their methods. I will describe several types of watchers and point out the different motives and methods of each. All right, verse 46. The reason that these different kinds of entities are called watchers is because they watch us. So the key question in regards to motive is, why are they watching? One good kind of watcher with good motives is the variety Nasareans call prayer angel. Their motive for watching is to observe us enough that they can pray appropriately for our spiritual advancement. Sometimes a particular prayer angel is praying on behalf of a particular human in such an ongoing manner as to rightly be called a guardian angel. The method of a prayer angel is to pray positive prayers and to hope for the best. There is an intermediate class of watchers that are not particularly good or bad. These beings that no longer have physical bodies and believing it to be a more efficient way to learn, observe physically incarnated beings as a form of study. Their motive is to learn and their method is study without intervention. A worse version of that variety just described is similar, except that their motive is entertainment. Some of these beings are actually entertained by wars or other low-level manifestations. Some of this kind, at least, do not intervene to intentionally conjure more of their desired low-level entertainment. Others do so intervene, and we call them pain farmers. And that is clearly demonic. All right. So that was the end of that little paragraph there, chapter 82. I always feel like somebody's watching me. We ain't got no privacy. Oh, man, that was that Rockwell song. All right, y'all, I'm out. I always feel like somebody's watching me.